What's up, y'all? Welcome to Fury Talks. I am your host, Seth Fury. Today I want to talk about something that I know at some point everybody has gone through. In fact, you might be going through this right now. So you're definitely going to want to listen up because this might be able to help you out. But I'm not going to take this on by myself. I got my good friend, Tony Royster, my man. Thank you for being here.
How you doing, bro?
If you don't know Tony Royster, this man is a legend. He's one of the best drummers in the world. He plays for Jay-Z, Katy Perry, the list goes on. But more importantly, he's a good friend of mine, so I know him very well. I know he's a very wise person that I think will be able to help me take this on. So,
Absolutely.
my man, have you ever been in a situation where you had a girl, you just met her, and then you brought her around, introduced her to one of your friends, you guys all were hanging out collectively, and you found out that somewhere along the way, she's actually had more interest or showed more chemistry with the friend? What do you do? Like in a situation, has that ever happened?
That's happened. It's very common as well.
I think so.
I just feel like, you know, especially the type of friends that you hang out with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you have some dope friends that have great qualities about them, great personalities,
Gotcha.
you know what I'm saying? It's bound to happen at some point.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already established some type of confirmation or solidified the relationship with the female that you have, that you're
Yeah.
bringing around, anything can happen. It's up in the air. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I've had a situation to where I brought a woman around, and we kind of met randomly, like at a random bar.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, we should, hang out again. And,
Yeah.
and we didn't establish anything. We were just friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's cool. But even if a woman did come around and she know that she came with you, out of respect,
Yeah.
regardless of what type of relationship y'all established right then and there, out of respect because she came with you, I don't think she would want to do anything to make you feel uncomfortable or awkward.
So basically, if you bring a girl around, you feel like she should have enough respect to not just openly make it known that she's interested in your friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But
if that happens, how do you feel about it? Like, is it something that because at the same time, you did just meet the girl.
Right.
So if you bring her around and you just met her at a bar, and you bring her around your friends, how can you expect that much loyalty to her,
Right.
Or from her just out the gate?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, and like I said, I go into that situation without any expectations. So
Okay.
I think it also comes with the maturity level of the man
Okay.
as well. That's a big part of it.
I definitely think maturity will definitely play a part in how this situation is handled.
Absolutely.
Because I could tell, I don't want to cut you off, but I could tell you in both scenarios, when I was younger, I would react one way, and now I would react a different way.
Absolutely.
Like, let's just say I brought a girl around and she happened to have more interest in my friend.
Yeah.
At a younger age, I'd be a lot more prideful. My ego would kick in. I would feel bad. I would be like, damn, what is it she liked about him and not me? You start questioning yourself and start trying to pick yourself apart. When you get older and you kind of already have dated so many types of women, you start to realize that they're so different. A lot of them are not going to be your perfect match.
Absolutely.
And that's the whole part of dating. You go around, you try to figure out what you see in different people, and hopefully you find enough in common with one person that you could actually say, okay, this is a good situation for me to explore. If you bring her around a friend, and you find out that she happens to have way more in common with your friend, maybe it could be, they're more attracted to each other physically. Maybe they just have more commonalities as far as like their interests and their work. And it's kind of like, damn, like I brought her to the table, but she's not even a match for me as nearly as much as she was for my friend.
Exactly.
I may be into her, but it seems like she has more into that person. So, as an adult now, I feel like I would be like, okay, it's gonna sting a little bit, especially if she's bad. It's gonna sting a little bit. You're gonna be like, damn, like I was definitely looking forward to having this one myself.
Right.
But in the long run, I don't think it's really gonna sustain anyway. Because either she's gonna leave me for somebody else, or
That's
she's just
similar
gonna
to
be
that person too, or has the same type of characteristics too.
exactly.
So,
Or she's just gonna always have eyes for my boy, and that's gonna make me really uncomfortable. Period. I'm like, you're gonna have to start casting him aside. You know what I mean? When you do events, you got to tell him he can't come. Like just because you're trying to control this situation so much, in which something that was naturally already happening is flourishing. So
yeah, a woman's gonna choose.
Yeah.
She's gonna choose. Period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What she wants is what she wants. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Really don't have to force the issue. I can see if you put in time and hours and energy and invested into this woman, and then she comes around and does something like that, then
that's a lot worse. And that's going to sting even more.
Exactly.
At that point, you actually got emotions involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Opposed to just a straight up infatuation.
Yeah.
So I actually had a story. Me and a friend of mine, we went out to the mall, and we basically went there with the intent of just meeting some people. Like we were new to the city. We were like, yo, let's just go ahead and meet some girls, go to the mall, go shopping, blah, blah, blah. While we're all separated, my boy runs over to me. He's like, yo, man, look at this girl I just met. Beautiful girl, right? And we're all looking at her like, damn, how come we didn't find her first? You know what I mean? But like, keep in mind, these two brothers that I was with are good-looking brothers. To the point where if we went out, and we all kind of even had a similar look. We were all like 6 feet plus. We all had like the same, we're all from the East Coast. We had a similar swag. Yeah. So it was apparent that any one of us who met her first probably could have got her.
Right.
He just found her first.
Right.
Brought her over to us. Out of respect, we just stepped back and we kind of just shook her hand and that was it. Now, this man brings her to the crib. We're all roommates. Keep that in mind as well. He brings her to the house. And in my mind, you would want to have all the solo time you can because you need that time to really make her like you. Like, you got a small window in which her attention can either go or come. So I would have been in there selling myself.
Was she the only girl there, too?
Well, yeah, we all lived together. He brought her over and they were chilling in his room.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, okay, well, he got her. Like, I don't really need to be a part of any of that conversation.
Right.
He's hanging out with her. All of a sudden, I get home from work and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, I was bartending. I come home and he's like, hey, yo, Seth, hey, come in the room, right? Now he's trying to show off. He's trying to show me that he got this beautiful girl in his room. And I'm like, oh, okay, what's up, what's up? He's like, he's also at the same time a little bit telling her about me, kind of pumping me up. Now, I don't know if he realized what he was doing. I don't think he knew. I'm like, bro, you might not want to tell her all the shit that I do, right? Because I'm a weird person. Like, I do a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? Whether it be, you know, my massages, my music, but all things that usually sound like music to girls' ears. So I'm like, listen, bro, just hang out with your girl. I'm gonna go in the next room. I go into the room. All of a sudden, I get a little knock on my door. Hey, man, why don't you play some of your music?
Oh,
I said, yo, you don't want to do this, man. I'm trying to tell you, just take her over there and y'all have your quality time. Don't bring me into the mix. Next thing you know, 10 minutes later, we're singing karaoke on the TV. It was like a moment in a movie in which now listen, I'm not doing anything other than what he's putting me in the position to do.
Right.
You ask me to sing, I'm gonna sing. It turns out the girl loves music. She's into music. So the idea that she found somebody she could connect with and sing, she felt a magic that she wasn't feeling in the next room. That's something that she would have never known if you didn't bring her over to my room. You see what I mean? He did it, and then naturally we had more in common. But I'm not going to step on his toes. I let him just go back to the room. About a week later, without any knowledge or anything that I did, she tells him, hey, I like your roommate. Now, he had two choices. He could have just kept that shit to himself. I would have never known because I wasn't pursuing her. He could have kept it to himself. But he was so confident. He was like, hey, man, she likes you. Go ahead and talk to her. And I was like, are you sure? Keep in mind, the girl was bad. So I'm like, y'all didn't sleep together, nothing like that. No, we didn't get that far. I'm like, okay. And you're sure? Because I personally, being in the same house as you, probably wouldn't be that comfortable. But he said, nah, man, just go ahead. I don't think he wanted me to look at him like he, was prideful or whatever. Because he wanted to be a secure man. Long story short, she started hanging out with me, and it was great. Like, I actually really enjoyed the girl, but it got awkward to the point where suddenly he actually did have an issue. He didn't want to openly let it be known that he was upset about it, but he felt some kind of way about it. He was just like, damn, I didn't think it was really gonna go down. I'm like, hey man, look, I asked you multiple times, are you sure? You can't give me the okay and then be mad when I go with the okay. Like, that's something that I would be honest enough with myself to say, listen, maybe y'all do have more in common, but I think with me being in the same house as you, it might get a little awkward. So I think it might be best if we both just walk away from this. Have you been in that situation before? It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It was crazy.
So I never had that specific situation happen, but you know what? I know women who love to see men in their element. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
Their element, right?
That's when you shine.
That's when you shine. Yeah. You're on top of the world at that. You know what I'm saying? The game at that very moment. But there are times when guys, I know friends, bring girls. And there's been times when the guy has brought multiple girls, maybe like 2 or 3. Oh, my homie got a show tonight. It's a super dope vibe. It's not like a club. It's a lounge. They serve food in there. It's all the works of having a good night without having to go over the top. You know what I'm saying? So this guy, I'm gonna say any names, but this guy brought a couple of girls. And mind you, I have the relationship in the pool to like, you know, get tables and get bottles.
So you got
and
the
all
juice.
I got the juice, you know. But I was very humble when it comes to having the juice too, making sure I cater to my guests. You know, the problem this dude did, he didn't establish which girl he liked out the group.
Yeah, that's important.
He told me he was bringing some people, but he didn't tell me exactly. So I finally found out that he had met them at a random bar, and they were talking about music, and they were from out of town. And it was a Friday night. That's my night.
That's your night.
Come to Sayers. You know what I'm saying? So he said, I'm bringing a couple of girls, maybe you don't mind if I got a place to sit. I said, I got you, bro, don't even worry. All of them are seeing me do my thing, and you know, it's so funny because the guy that ended up coming there with the 3 girls didn't end up with anybody.
Wow.
Because the girls in there end up, like one of the girls ended up liking me. The other 2 girls started being interested in other men that was inside the club. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just more so the biggest thing in any type of situation is communication. You know what I'm saying? That's very, very important.
And I think even more, the bigger lesson you can learn is that when you take or meet a girl up front, you don't own her.
You don't.
And you can't control that she likes you more just because you met her first.
Exactly.
And if you bring her around more options, she just might choose somebody other than yourself. All right, so we just covered this scenario in which a guy or girl meets somebody they're interested in, and before solidifying anything, they bring them around their friends. As you heard, it can get a little messy, a little confusing should they have wandering eyes. But now we're gonna move on to the scenario in which you guys are both teaming up, going out for a night out. What's the secret sauce to make that work seamlessly? Check it out. So what do you think makes the perfect wingman?
What makes the perfect wingman? So first of all, I like the homie. If he's a wingman, I will hope that we have a good relationship. That's the homie. First of all, he's very secure with himself. Also, he doesn't run women away by his personality or by him being a disrespectful individual. You know, and then he also just knows how to have a decent conversation to keep people around. You know, to make people laugh and play off of each other. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it a fun environment to be around. So that's a perfect wingman for me.
So me personally, I think the perfect wingman is your friend that knows the best parts of you and knows how to highlight that part, right? So, for instance, like back when I was doing music more full time, I was always singing, playing guitar, doing all that stuff as well. So if I ever had a friend come by, he would do something slick like, hey man, you still working on that song? And the girls would be, what, do you play music? Like, nah, I don't really do that. Nah, man, go ahead, play that song real quick. I'm like, yo, nah, chill. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, come on, keep going. I'm like, nah, man, I ain't trying to do no music. I'm, all right, fine. I do the music. Next thing you know, I'm playing the guitar. Everything's happening the way it was, because the thing is, I didn't have to sell myself. You sell yourself, you start looking like you're just full of yourself or just cocky. But if you stay humble and you have a wingman, which is basically your assist man, like he's the person that sets you up to look your best. And I feel like if you know that friend, then I know exactly what to do. You know what I mean? So that's a good wingman.
I feel like also too, you know, when you're winning, when, you know, y'all get together, you're having a good time, like, I don't know, for the first 20, 30 minutes, and then you're able to separate for 2 seconds to talk. And the girls feel comfortable with speaking to each other, speaking to you, she's speaking to me separately, without any texting or like, oh, help me, whatever the case may be. Because, you know, first of all, they're going to get up and go to the bathroom. They're going to talk to each other. They're going to go ahead and, you know, get the whole 411 over the entire night. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, you know what I mean? So just as long as the homie is just really in tune with what's going on and sees how, like, just playing off of each other, man. I think that's the main thing.
That's really what it is. Because let's say there's a situation where things are going better with my girl than they are with your girl. And let's say me and my girl step aside, we're having a conversation, it's one-on-one, and all of a sudden, the girl you're with is like, where's Lisa? You know what I mean? You gotta be the man to be like, no, leave them alone. Entertain her. Even if maybe you're not hitting it off as well, a good wingman knows how to just establish that, you know, so they can have their moment. And if it's ever another situation where it's reversed, he'll do the same thing for you. Because that's important. Like, it's hard to get all 4 people on the same page. Sometimes it's only 2 people. But a good wingman will still make it work for the friend that's getting a little bit, you know, further along with it.
Major facts.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So now that we know what makes the perfect wingman, now we're gonna move on to something that's not so cool. Something that's very different than the first scenario in which you already met the guy or girl you were interested in and you brought them to your friends. This is when neither one of you guys know this person and you do something that we frown upon called false claiming. Check it out. False claiming.
Ooh.
That's something that happens a lot.
Wow.
And I got a lot of friends that like to do that to me all the time. False claiming is basically when you feel as if you have already claimed a girl, and that could be something as simple as pointing her out in the club, and then all of a sudden you don't even talk to her, but suddenly she's off limits for the night. That's ridiculous. I can't count the number of times girls have done that, where they come over to me and they'll be like, yo, my friend likes you. And I'll be like, oh, okay, well, what's up with you though? Right. I saw the friend, I like you. And they'll just be like, no, they feel like they're doing something wrong because of the fact that their friend claimed me just simply by pointing to me. I'm like, I don't even know your friend, but I like you. You know what I mean? So that's something I know girls usually have a bigger issue with that just because that's just the way they're built. Now guys, we're a little more different. I don't feel like any men should just be false claiming on girls.
I mean, I'm pretty much on the same page as you.
Yeah.
You know, I had a situation, a quick story, like I was out, I think it was like at a restaurant, and there was a girl that was across the way, and she was just with a group of friends.
Yeah.
The homie immediately pointed her out.
Yeah.
We're there
Yeah.
for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like, there's also like a bar in this place too.
Yeah.
We're there for a couple hours. He kept talking about her. I said, my geez, why don't you just go up to say something to her?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You kept talking about her all night.
Yeah.
So, mind you, I'm not talking to anybody there.
Yeah.
There's nobody else there that I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just chilling, having a good time. But this was a very beautiful woman.
Yeah.
And he just continuously talked about her. I said, you're not going to go and say nothing? And
Yeah.
my G, when I tell you the whole night was over, and she ended up leaving, and I said,
no one got to talk to. Oh my God!
Why didn't you go and say anything to her?
Yeah.
She about. I mean, I'll probably see her again. I said, but you
Yeah.
can't do that, man. Like you can't.
Exactly.
Only reason why I didn't say anything out of respect for you, my
Yeah.
G.
Yep.
You expressed how much you liked her, but you didn't go over there. Now,
Yeah.
mind you, I have some savage friends
Yeah.
that do not care.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
as
yeah.
soon as you tell them that.
Yep.
And then you don't do nothing within the first 20, 30 minutes
Yeah.
and she's there. What? I'm not
Yeah.
going to let this go. You're not going to go talk to her?
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
go talk to her.
I don't even see that as being savage.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
They gave you a 20, 30 minute
Yeah,
window.
yeah, yeah.
Like, that's the,
I'm just saying the point of like just the dude not caring about how
yeah.
you feel. I won't necessarily say savage, but I'm saying
Sure.
in other
Yeah.
ways they're savage.
Yeah.
But like this is like, okay, you don't want to go and do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
And I'll be giving them help. I'll be like, hey man, she's over there by the bar. Why don't you go get yourself a drink?
Yeah.
Hey man, she's over there by the food bar. Go make yourself a plate.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to help him out. I'm like, bro, you're too shy to actually do this. Now, granted, you guys, once you actually start talking, you might actually get along with her. But if you can't make that initial move, then you really can't do nothing.
He kept saying,
I
I got it. I'm going to go over there and do it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure it out.
Exactly. And then next thing you know, you turn your back and she's gone. Now you're trying to chase her to the parking lot.
Out of there. So, you know, things like that happen, you know, but I've had the situations, you know, what you just explained right there. But, you know, it's just, I mean, I don't know.
All right, so now I want to tell you a quick story about something that I actually went through that's very different from every other scenario. I know they may seem similar, but they're not. On one hand, you got the friend that just met a girl, a guy, and they brought them around their friends too early. Then you got the false claimer that doesn't even know the person, that just simply called them out. And then you have what I went through, in which I already made progress, was already physically intimate, we already had something, and then this happens. So I met this one girl, and we actually, it was just a little strange. Like, we actually were sleeping together in this situation. Like, I liked her. She was very, very cool. She was come to my house. She'd sleep, no, she wouldn't sleep over. She'd come to my house, she'd always leave, whatever the case is. And one day, after about a month or so, she comes to me and she says, hey, I gotta talk to you about your roommate. This is a different roommate. This ain't the other one from before. I said, okay, what about him? Like, how do you even know his name? Oh, well, you know, I've been seeing him in the gym. And I'm like, okay, and she's like, and I like him.
Wow.
And like, what you telling me this for? Like, I'm still trying to gather what it is happening because it's so bold and I've never experienced this before. So I'm like, okay, so now what? She's like, so I think I'm gonna start talking to him. We're like laying in bed right now. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, right? What are you talking about? You gotta be kidding me. I'm blown away by this. And keep in mind, this dude was like he was like he was like barely like 20 years old. Like this girl was like 28. I was closer to her age. I'm like, what you want with that little dude? Like, what are you talking about? She didn't care. So the next day, I'm still thinking this is a joke. There's no way that she's gonna be that goddamn bold and disrespectful to me. There's no way, all right? This isn't even a real thing.
Yo.
The next day she shows up to my house and I see that little car pull up out front. I'm like, oh, she's here. But she ain't here for me. So instead of going up the stairs and going to the left, she just went on to the right.
Wow.
And she was now sleeping over. She never slept over. She slept over now. She was cooking my pots. Cooking all this big feast of food, right? And I'm seeing her in the kitchen with these little shorts on, and she's making it, and it was so disrespectful, right? And then they would have the nerve to tell me I couldn't have none of it. Of course, I used to sneak down at 3 a.m. and make myself a bowl. But nonetheless, I'm like, this girl is in my house, banging my roommate, cooking in my pots, and making it so uncomfortable to live in this house. And I had to go through this joint for like months. But here's the thing. I eventually stopped talking to him because I was like, bro, the fact that all this was happening, you knew you were flirting with her in the gym. You were doing this behind my back. This wasn't something that just happened like the other situation. This was very deliberate.
Right.
And I think you almost got off on the idea of taking this girl from me. You know what I mean? Like I could see it all on your face. And so the only thing that came about from this relationship is that they actually stayed together for a couple years. I think that alone made me feel like, okay, we probably wouldn't have lasted for a couple of years. We didn't have that much in common other than like the physical parts and just like some on the surface type stuff. They somehow had a connection that we just didn't have. So as extreme of an example as that was, I feel like there are some cases where some people are just better fits. And I hated it from the jump. But over the time, I was like, I got used to it. I'm like, okay, whatever, man. Like, yeah, like it was grimy. I wouldn't have done that type of stuff to my friend, but y'all did it. You guys actually had something that kind of flourished and lasted a while. So what can you say at this point?
Yeah, I have had
Bro,
a story like that, though.
I don't think anybody has that story. Like, till this day, when I tell people that, they're like, no. I'm like, bro, I can't even make this up. All right, y'all, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Fury Talks. We really hope this was able to help you out. We try to give you a broad range of scenarios. Maybe you guys have gone through this before. Maybe you're currently going through it right now. At the end of the day, it's all about preserving relationships, whether they're just friends or they're romantic, because they're important and you definitely want to treat them with respect and honesty. But at the same time, there is no golden rule to this dating. It's a lot of trial and error. So if you go out with your mans and you happen to see a girl, go ahead and be that perfect wingman for him. Put him on. If you happen to see a girl that's more interested in him, don't block his blessings. Let that man have it. And lastly, if one of you guys have already started talking to and pursuing a person, definitely don't be that friend that goes behind their back and tries to steal him, because that's just snake. Tony, my man, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you for
having me. Hope you guys enjoyed him as well. And how do we follow you?
Tony Royster Jr. on IG, on all social media platforms. Tony Royster Jr. is my name.
Here we go. This is Seth Fury, Fury Talks. We're out of here. Later.